Well, hey there, my friend. Welcome back to the show. My name is Deanna Yates, and you are listening to episode 254 of the Wannabe Clutter Free podcast. On today's episode, I am chatting with Tara Bremer, the founder and CEO of House Peace. We're diving into a topic that I know you are going to love, not only how to organize, but how to build resilience in the midst of chaos, manage stress when clutter feels overwhelming, and create organizing systems that actually work for different personality types. Tara brings a really unique perspective to this conversation because, along with her years of experience helping families declutter and organize, she holds a master's in counseling and a BA in psychology. So she blends her deep understanding of human behavior with practical, judgment free organizing strategies that help people find peace in their homes and in their lives. And as a wife and a mom of three, she knows firsthand what it's like to juggle the mental and physical load of a busy household. If you've ever felt like clutter is stressing you out and making life harder than it needs to be, well, this episode is for you. But before we jump in, I want to take a moment to say thank you to you for being here. If you enjoy this episode, can you please consider subscribing so you never miss a new one? And if you find this conversation helpful, leaving a quick rating or a review is the best way to show your support. It helps others find the show and keeps this community growing. Remember, you can get the show notes with links to everything we talk about today at wannabeclutterfree.com/254. And there are lots of products and people we reference. So go to wannabeclutterfree.com/254 to grab those. And of course, if you want to connect beyond this podcast, come find me on Instagram. I am at Wannabe Clutter Free, or you can join our private Facebook group, the Wannabe Minimalist Family Group, where we chat about all things decluttering, organizing, and simplifying life. All right, let's dive into the conversation with Tara. Hi, Tara. Welcome to Wannabe Clutter Free. How you doing today?
I'm good, Deanna. How are you?
I am fabulous. It's so great to connect. You were part of our Chaos to Calm Summit in January, and your talk was lovely. We talked all about closets, and so that was really great. And I just wanted to dive a little bit deeper with you about just the chaos that can happen in our homes, and you have a really interesting background. But before we dive into all of that, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. Yes, so I'm Tara Bremer. I live in Birmingham, Alabama, and I've been here for about 16 years. I have three kids. They're all teenagers. One's in college. Been married for 27 years, I think, so a long time. And yeah, so I own a home organizing company. It's called House Peace. And we're in several different cities across the Southeast and in New York. But yeah, I noticed for me as a young mom back when my third came into my life, I was like, this is hard. I thought it was hard at number one and number two, but the third, I was like, this is stressful. And something that helped me a lot was having a little bit of control, like predictability in my life. And so I felt since I don't have all, like, we don't have control over when a baby is going to bonk their head or when they are going to have a meltdown or need a nap or something, but I can have control over my closet or my junk drawer or whatever. And so I was blogging about organizing, and then I started the business. I thought maybe someone else would benefit, maybe someone would hire me. And so I started the business, and they do. They hire us, and we've got a team. And I love helping people gain a sense of control. And particularly, I like organizing for people's personality types. My background's in counseling and psychology as far as my education. And I don't know if are y'all into the Enneagram out there? Are you into that?
Yeah, I've done that. We'll talk about that in a second. That's actually my first question is how has your background in psychology and counseling influenced your approach to organizing? So go. I'm excited.
Yeah. So yeah, it just there's to me no one size fits all for organization. And I think a lot of times in like our Pinterest social media world, we see a picture and we're like, oh, this is how we organize canned goods or whatever. And then you've got certain people, maybe an Enneagram 7 or something, who's the enthusiast and she's fun and she's ready to get on to the next fun thing. She might feel like a bit of a failure because she can't remember or doesn't have the patience or time to put her canned goods in a certain way. And I'm like, there's no point in that. If you don't want to color code, if you don't want to put things on canned good risers, it's okay. We'll do something else that's like just perfect for you so you can get and go. But an Enneagram 1, who's more of a perfectionist,
Shocker. I raised my hand. I'm sure this is a surprise as somebody who does this. Yeah, for a living. Yep, I'm a one. Yep.
People often think I'm a one, but I'm actually a three. For me, it's very much about efficiency and not wasting time. It's not that I like things really tidy because that's the way it's supposed to be, like maybe a one might feel. It's because this is just a better way to live. It's faster. I don't lose time looking for keys or whatever.
Fun. Okay, interesting. My husband is an 8, and we think our daughter's a 6. She's only 11, so it's going to change, I'm sure. But I would be curious to hear your thoughts. We can dive into that now, or I have it on the question later about the different personalities and organizing. So you tell me where you want to fit it in.
Yeah, we can talk about it. I think so. Your daughter's 11, you said? I think that is, first of all, such a great age for kids when it comes to wanting to organize. Like they start, I don't know, is she like this? Like she gets it and she's, oh, this is fun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's 11 going on 35.
Yeah. So do her teachers, this is what happens to my 13-year-old daughter. Do her teachers, are they like, hey, you want to come organize my craft closet?
Yeah, she definitely has her own cart all organized and exactly how she wants it to be.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. So as far as like the different personality types, I never want to make someone feel like they're supposed to be another way than what they are. When it comes to your personality, this is just who you are. It's how God made you or whatever. And when eight, I actually don't know a ton of eights, but what is your husband? What does he feel about organization or how you do things or how he likes things done?
So for my husband, I think he likes things orderly. He doesn't like authority. Like he doesn't like things to be a certain way because someone else says they have to be that way. Like it has to work with how he wants it to be set up. And not to say that like how I set things up isn't how he wants to set things up. So it's not like we fight or bicker over that. He definitely is a less is more, better quality. He's a quality over quantity kind of guy. So I think it works well together just because I don't like a lot of stuff and he doesn't like a lot of stuff because he wants the better stuff than the just, he doesn't want a lot of stuff. He would rather, he's much better at the I want to save my money and buy the one thing that I actually want versus trying all the 9 million other things that are the cheaper knockoffs because I want to save money. So sometimes that gets me into trouble.
Yeah, that's a good match though. I feel like, yeah, y'all are a good team. For sure. Yeah, and I have a kid. One of my children is maybe a nine, but could be a one. So a nine is the peacemaker, and the one's the perfectionist. So he teeters back and forth, but he really does love to organize. His desk is perfect, his room is perfect, and he actually just really enjoys it. So that's where I'm like, maybe you're a one. I don't know. And he's actually really good about noticing things at home like in just in the regular more public areas that need to be done and he'll just do them, whereas my seven child, the enthusiast, it's just a disaster. And it, no, we don't have time to hang up clothes. Why would we hang up clothes when I can just pick them up off the floor and wear them? There are parameters around that. I don't force that room to be clean except maybe every 2 weeks when we have someone come in and clean. And I'm not trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. I am trying to teach good habits so that she can be successful when she lives on her own or whatever. But
Eventually flies the coop.
yes, eventually. That one may not. She may not ever. I don't know.
Oh, your focus, let's see, your work focuses on bringing peace into homes. What are some of those bigger things that you've noticed over your career that really trip people up that they might not think, like, they just don't even realize it's a not a tripping hazard, but tripping them up in life?
One thing I see a lot is people saying, I don't have a good laundry system. I'm wondering if you might see this too. And I'm like, what do you mean? And what they mean is it's hard for them to get from dirty to clean and then clean to put away. Okay. My dad calls that the pipeline. So the pipeline, there's some sort of something gumming up the works here. But what I think it is, I don't think it's a laundry problem at all or a habit problem. I think it's you have too many clothes problem because what I see is just mountains of laundry. And so people get overwhelmed at the mountains And they're like, oh, I just can't manage it. And I'm like, it's just because you have so much that when you don't do laundry regularly because you don't need to, because you've got 45 pairs of underwear and you don't run out, like you're not forced to do your laundry. And so I don't know, weeks go by. I don't actually know. And so the piles get bigger, the dirties and the cleans. And it's just, yeah, I think you're trying to manage something that's chaotic to begin with. Laundry, if you only have what you really love and need, then you're not ever going to wear something you don't like, and you're not going to end up with a mountain of laundry because you're going to be forced to do your laundry. To me, that's like a way that your environment can help you. So the environment meaning a more curated closet or something. I also see a lot of evidence of over shopping. I don't know if it's fair to say addiction, but like I see a lot of things new in package or with tags on it. But see, that's the laundry problem too. It's the same, but even beyond clothes, just even stuff. And it particularly like say someone has a new baby. I mean, the amount of stuff, one that you need with a new baby, but also just there's so many wonderful things. There's so many like cute, soft, helpful items. And then it's just too much. It's just way too much. So I think that it's usually pretty clear when someone's got a problem with shopping. And I can practically hear the thoughts. Do you feel this way? I can hear someone's thoughts as if they were shopping. They're like at Target, like, well, this is cute. That's cute. And I put it in. And it's like, instead of that other little birdie on the shoulder saying, yeah, but you don't have enough flat surfaces to handle another tchotchke. That's what I want people to start thinking about is instead of, oh, that's cute and I like this shiny object. Because I'm the same. Target has my number. Show me some shiny gold like bookends. I'm interested. But I don't need any bookends. I don't have room for them. So that's the difference is I think we need to have some better logic when we're shopping.
I love that. Yeah, just taking that pause, that moment of like, oh, that's cute. Great. It's cute here. I don't need to have it in my house to still appreciate it and being cute. And I also think you can also have this conversation with your family. Has anybody ever said, oh, I'm sure somebody listening to this has had this happen. They thought an owl was cute, or a penguin, or a lemon, or a duck. And all of a sudden, their family now thinks they collect these things. They buy one, and now their whole house is inundated with stuff. So if we're having a moment of like, I know, but I like all these cute things. Just imagine your house is inundated with some sort of collection that you didn't mean to collect. And it's all this clutter. It's all this stuff that you thought was cute at one point. And it is super cute in the store because it's curated in the store. It's set up to attract you, to create this lovely vignette where you're like, oh my gosh, I fell in love with it and I've got to have it. But just because I bring it in my house, I do not have the Target decorating gene. Like I try my hardest to make my home look presentable and look cute and that I love it. And I have worked very hard on my background, but it takes it in me. That is not an innate gene in me. So I know that if I see it look cute in Target, it's not going to look the same way in my house. So learning that has been really helpful too.
Who is it? There's somebody who says that. Is it the nester? Somebody who says, okay, you see something cute at the store, at Target, at Home Goods or whatever, and it is styled, whether we know it or not. It's styled. It's within the mix that makes everything look good. Like the Hearth and Home stuff always looks awesome because it's curated. Gosh, I wish I could remember if it was the nester, Michael and Smith. But she says, take that thing and go put it somewhere else in the store. Walk around with it and go set it on a random shelf where the water bottles are or something. And if it still appeals to you and meets a need, then maybe you still like it. But if you're like, oh, that's actually not cute at all, then that's a helpful piece of data.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah, that's such a great way to have that moment where you can experiment a little bit with things. I'm always a big sucker for that, like where you can just put it in your cart, leave it there for a minute if you're shopping online, come back the next day and decide, do I actually need this thing? Or is it just something in the moment? I was hungry, I was bored, someone said something to me and I didn't feel good about myself that day. What else was happening around that moment where I thought, I want that, I need that, I deserve that little treat.
I know we do live in the little treat culture, and that's great a lot of the times, but not all the time. And maybe the little treats should be something consumable, like skincare. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. Or maybe the little treat is giving yourself time to read a book or go for a walk or meditate or just listen to a good song, listen to an audiobook. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that is physical.
That you buy. That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, be nice to your future self.
I agree so much.
Okay, many of my listeners feel overwhelmed by clutter, but they struggle to take action. So let's say they're sitting here going, okay, I'm overwhelmed. How do you define chaos resilience? That's a term you use. And what mindset shifts can help someone from feeling stuck to actually making real progress and taking back that feeling of control?
So chaos resilience is it's a way to consider maybe our future selves and our current selves and be a little kinder to say what chaos is going to happen. Clutter and messes will happen, especially if you have kids or especially if there's been a death in the family or maybe you work a ton of hours. So the chaos is going to happen. But because we've got a way of being, we'll call it a system if you want, we can come back to the system when we have time and bandwidth. Okay, so that's what the resilience part is. The chaos will come and we can get back to the system when we are able to. And it's not like any sort of indictment on ourselves, like, oh, this, I'm terrible and I can't keep this system up. I hear that a good amount. And it's just, I just don't think we need to, it's not fair to ourselves. So it's like grace in the moment. I want to set things up for my clients so that it's easy for them to come back to it. And again, that's like the personality thing. If things get crazy, we can go back to it, but it has to fit them.
Yeah. All right. How do we start to find ways that fit us? What does that look like?
I think that really knowing yourself, I highly recommend taking the Enneagram test if your listeners haven't. And even if I'm just partial to that test, but like any sort of personality inventory, or if you just start saying some things that are true about yourself, list them down. I do like order, or I feel stressed when, or I am flexible, or knowing yourself, let's make some conclusions about that. For example, one thing about me, I have my 3 kids and my husband's got some long-term pain issues. And so there's a lot that I'm managing on my own. He does a lot and he's great, but there's just some stuff he cannot do. And that's okay. So knowing this about me, I need my kids to be pretty independent. So I don't make breakfast typically, or I do expect them to do their laundry, things like that. So knowing that about me helps me to understand it's okay that I don't do my kids' laundry and it's good for them to know how to do it. Or also, I understand why their rooms are a mess because this is what's been going on. So I think really just knowing you, knowing your people and your household is a way for us to start the process. Like clutter isn't really about the clutter. It's so often about like life circumstances or personalities, special needs. And so nobody is disorganized in a vacuum.
Right. Yeah, it to me it's a reflection. It's just a reflection of what's happening in your life. Like if there's a lot of stuff, it's because, you got overwhelmed. You weren't able to stay on top of it. And, we need to figure out what is your level? Like what's the amount of stuff that you can actively manage that's not overwhelming for you? And can we live within those means? And then what are the other things you can do instead of retail therapy, right? How can you know, have these treats and do these things that will actually help you and benefit you and help you move toward the person you want to be, toward the life you want to be living. When you're scrolling on Instagram and you're saying, "Oh, I'm so envious of that." Are there actions that you can take in your life today that would help you not be living in the opposite of whatever that is? Because often we're like, I want this thing and it's so far different than what I'm living right now. Okay, well, are there little steps you can take, or are there things you can stop doing that would get you closer to that? It's not, yeah, to me, it's a very holistic approach, right? everything in your life is kind of working together. And yeah, and your stuff, I mean, the stuff you buy affects your financial health, and how much stuff you have can start to affect your mental health because you start to like just get down on yourself. So yeah, I think it's all tied together. Absolutely.
It is. And I think that sometimes to get unstuck, people just need a coach or a therapist, or in our case, an organizer who can coach them out of like where you're stuck right now and bring some like education and just some hope, you know?
Right. And it's not helpless. You're not helpless. You're not alone. You're not the only person who has ever felt overwhelmed or stuck or feel like they have too much clutter. That is absolutely not it. And there's no judgment, right? I get what it's like to just things have been chaotic. And even in my own life, right? If I get sick and then my daughter gets sick and then life is busy on top of it, I'm running a summit and so many different things are going on. My house is not pristine. I have systems, I have a baseline, I know how to get back to that. But if you don't know that and you haven't had somebody help you or walk through that, then yes, investing in yourself and your home and your future is 100% a great way to get going. So
Absolutely. I like the word you used, baseline. What's the baseline? That's the system, whatever you've decided it is, and that's what we're trying to get back to.
yeah. All right. Perfect. So when life gets busy and clutter often piles up, especially for us moms that are balancing work, kids, daily responsibilities, all the things, what are some practical ways that you like to use to reduce stress around clutter when you feel like there's no time to deal with it? So if we're talking about baseline, what does this mean?
Oh gosh, that's hard. So sometimes I think that what I need is delegation in my household. So I'll have all these things yelling at me. This needs attention. This needs attention. And I'm like, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. And that's fine. But then if I start saying that to myself too many times, I'm like, I gotta get some help. And so my son, the one who likes to organize, I might ask him like, hey, will you organize the fridge? It's like off the rails here. Too many leftovers and whatever. And he's happy to do it. So I think that we don't need to be alone. Like our families can be part of the solution. I also really believe in body doubling, which is an ADHD concept of just sitting with somebody, particularly a child, while they're, say, trying to do homework or something. So they're trying to get something done. They can park at the dining room table and you can park at the dining room table. You don't need to be helping them. Maybe you bring your Kindle and you read or whatever. But it helps focuses the child. So like I believe in that clutter wise, because in a way, I think that's what house peace does, what professional organizing does. You're body doubling. You're like focusing the client. Oh, this is the only thing we're doing right now. We're not going to go throw clothes in the dryer, and we're not answering emails, and we're not going to run out for a walk real quick. We're here to go through the clothes in the closet and organize the closet. And so, yes, we do a lot of the hands-on labor because it's faster and good, but ultimately I think it's body doubling. And I think that concept is super helpful for most people. So if you can't afford to hire someone, maybe you can just ask your bestie to come over. I need you to come over to my house for 3 hours. I will provide you with a delicious coffee drink, and I just need you to be here. And she doesn't even have to help you because she probably will, but just having that accountability, that I call it the power of the appointment. She's there if this is what y'all are doing.
Yeah, so good. Oh, that's fun. Power of the appointment. Oh, I like it. It's very true. And it is. And it's that integrity with yourself. Like you put something on the calendar, I'm sticking with it. This is what I'm doing. And it is so easy. Myself, I still get distracted, right? There are reasons things sometimes take longer than others because it's something on my list that I'm like, I know this is good for me and I know I want to do this and I know future me is going to be happy, but current me really needs to do this other thing, or I'm tired, I don't want to do it. But if I put it on the calendar, it is so much more likely to get done if I have reminders going off and telling me like, nope, this is the time. Look, you decided last week that this is what you were doing today. And last week you was smart and put this in, and let's listen to her. And yeah, use yourself as your best friend if you need to sometimes. But I love the idea of inviting your friend over and saying, hey, just come sit with me. Like we're just going to hang out and we'll chat and it'll be fun. And instead of going on a shopping date and spending the day together, just come hang out with me over here and we'll actually get some stuff done. And then it's your best friend. Yeah, they're not judging you. It's your best friend.
That's right. That's right. She loves you. She wants success for you.
And what would you want for your best friend, right? So if you're having this moment of like, can I really ask someone to do that? If your best friend asked you to do that, how would you respond?
Oh my gosh, you jump at it.
Exactly. Okay, I love it. I want to go back to personality types because you were talking about your son who enjoys organizing. What do you do in a household where someone is more along those lines of they're fine with, they're naturally organized, but then someone else thrives in chaos and they don't want to organize? What are some of your practical ways to help bridge that gap and reduce the stress around those two competing?
Yeah, I do think my 13-year-old just does not care to a point, though. I think that it's fine for someone to not care about certain things, but we need to develop habits. We need to have things set up so when they're running their own household, they're not scattered and stressed because, as we know, cortisol increases as clutter increases. With my daughter, I don't really force a ton on her. I do require her to put her laundry up, and I'm telling you, I'll say, come get this laundry out of the dryer, and she'll pull it all out of the dryer, and I'm like, come back down here. Put it in the laundry basket. And so she'll do that, and then she'll leave. I'm like, no, come back, take it upstairs, please bring the laundry basket back down. And it's hard work because that's exhausting. That's mental labor for me. But like, even though she may not want to do that, this I feel is really imperative for her success. And so like her baseline is going to be really different than my kind of perfectionistic son's baseline. So yes, we want to work within the personalities, but at the same time, they got to learn some stuff and you got to contribute to the household.
All right. So, what are some of those tips if you've got kids that are just like, I don't want to do it, they're not into it, you're having to remind them all the different ways, 50 ways since Sunday? What are the ways that how can we make that a little bit easier on ourselves when we're just like, are you kidding me? I am going to lose it.
I know. For me, when my kids were younger, it was really helpful to make little rubrics, little signs. I literally taped these on our light switches. I made it in Canva or something and laminated it. And these were the things that I wanted to be clear. For example, different rooms are for different things. I found once my kids were past toddler/preschooler stage, I didn't really want my living room full of toys. I didn't think that was necessary. Where are the toys? I designated that the playroom or whatever, that's where toys are. Playroom, this is where we play with toys. This is where we build forts. This is where we whatever, in bullet point format. In the living room, what do we do in here? We watch a family show. We play a game. And like really defining those spaces so that not everything was kid toys. And even for my own bedroom, like for a long time, my bedroom was an extension of the living room almost. Like we would watch TV on my bed or kids are in and out. And finally there was a time where I was like, no, this is mommy's space. This is mommy's sacred space. And we're not going to watch TV as a family in here. We're going to, watch in the living room, or just having those boundaries. I also defined what makes a clean room. So if you say to your kid, go clean your room, and they're like falling apart, or just screws around in the room for 2 hours and has nothing to show for it, they may truly not know what a clean room is. So for me, clean room means all laundry is either put in the dirties or hung up or put away. It means all stuffed animals are in the stuffed animal basket. It means the bed is made. It means nothing's on the floor. Whatever that means for you or your listeners or whoever, have the 5 things. What does the clean room mean? And tape that on the wall in the kids' room. And if you're like, okay, what does it mean to have an organized desk? It means all the pens are together in this thing that is labeled pens. It means whatever, just define it. And I think it's best to write it out. Here's why. Write it out meaning a sign or a label or a list or whatever, because we are forgetful. We are like, even as adults, we're forgetful, and we've forgotten what we decided. I don't know what I decided that bin to be. At the time, I was like, yes, that bin in the top of my closet is going to be for ski stuff. I don't have any ski stuff. But anyway, 2 months later, I'm not going to remember where my winter stuff is. We have to label. We have to define things. And that's even more so for children. I really believe in lists, labels, things like that. Even for kids who are pre-readers, they can start. A lot of little bitty kids, 3 and 4 year olds, might know what a bee is, but oh, balls go in here. And it's part of the learning. Like, we're helping them. We're saying, look, here's where balls go.
I love that. I love the extension of parenting into this is what we expect in the home, and here's what it means, and defining it. I think that is such a big and important step that so many people miss because you don't realize, and this is becoming a parent was one of the things that was so eye-opening to me, to look at this little bundle and be like, you know nothing. You are the blankest slate the blank has ever been. And yes, there's going to be some nature things that you just gravitate toward, and that's your personality and things. But you have to teach your children everything, and they learn either from watching you do it. So either you have to model what you want because they're learning that way, and also you have to instruct them. It is, yes, eye-opening to say, go clean your room, and they have no idea what that means. This looks clean to me. What's mom complaining about? And so, yeah, if you don't define it, then you're not on the same page. And that's where a lot of that conflict comes in, when you're just not on the same page and it's just a communication thing. Maybe it's not them rebelling. Maybe it's not them really wanting to ruffle your feathers or push your buttons. It could just be that they don't know what's expected. And so, yeah, I love that you put that into words. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it just helped me a lot. It helped me a ton when my kids were littler.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of people listening are going to be like, oh, that makes sense. And it is just, it doesn't have to be a difficult step, and it doesn't have to be a fight either. It doesn't have to be like, you're not doing it how I want it done. It's just, okay, let's have a meeting. What do you think clean means? And I'll tell you what I think clean means. And maybe we have to meet in the middle somewhere, because if they're young, maybe we need to lower our expectations a little bit, I think.
Absolutely. It all needs to be developmentally appropriate. And speaking of which, I think it's fun, maybe the age your daughter is or even younger, if you did get on Canva and have them help create a graphic that you print out and you laminate together, and you get more buy-in that way.
Totally. Yes. Yes. Let's not forget how we do that in other things. Yes. Do that for this too. I love that idea. That's great. And she would love doing that. So let's talk about habit formation, because I think we've talked about that a little bit, and sustainable systems. We're talking about baseline. Maybe if you don't like the word systems, like a lot of people, if they're in the financial world, don't like the word budget. Some people might not like the word systems, and they might feel it's too rigid, and routines and habits, and I just want to break out, and that makes me really uncomfortable. But you bring a deep understanding of this behavioral psychology into your work. So what are some of these small but powerful habits that people can build to maintain this organized home long term that doesn't feel so stifling, maybe?
That is hard. And I think for more free-spirited people, that can be a difficult thing, because they don't want to feel cramped. They don't want to feel like someone's telling them what to do, maybe like an 8 or something. You're not going to tell me how to organize. I'm not. But I'm going to say that you will spend less time looking for your keys if you have a place that you always put them. So I think for me, something that's really helpful with habit formation, if someone truly doesn't want to feel cramped, they really need to take the brain out of it, meaning the decision making out of it. Decide once. That's a lazy genius concept, Kendra Adachi. Decide once. So decide, where do you want the keys to be? Now let it be, this is where the keys are, and we're going to tape up a piece of paper, put a post-it note, and when the habit's formed, you can disregard the note or throw it away. Write where you want the keys. If you know you're always coming home at a certain time, maybe even set an alarm. I'm huge on my iPhone's alarms, just to make sure that I don't forget about anything. But yeah, oh, right, it's Monday and Thursday. I pick kids up from soccer on Mondays and Thursdays. So let's take any computing power out and make it into a habit. So yeah, I'm huge on, I call them visual cues. It's nothing more than labels, but it can be a temporary label. So for example, when I was trying to get my kids to stop barging in on my bedroom and my bathroom, I put a literal stop sign and said, stop and think, can this wait for the 5 minutes that mom will be in the bathroom? And it worked a little, but it mostly helped me remember that, yes, I've already done this. I've already had this conversation over and over again. We're just going to keep reinforcing. Nope, we need to stop and wait and see, does this thing, Is it urgent so that mom needs to be interrupted in the bathroom? Probably not. Again, we're forgetful people. So even as moms and dads, we need to remind ourselves. So huge on putting signs up. And I think right now my favorite sign that I have is actually just a dry erase marker on the mirror by my back door. By the way, this is a great mirror. If you ever put affiliate links up, you should put this. There's all kinds of different ones, but I think mine was from Amazon. It's a mirror with like a built-in tray and 2 built-in hooks. So you could put your keys or little doodads, but it's right by the back door. And I wrote on it, "Don't put it down, put it away." And that's like the home organizer's dream statement. And it is so helpful when we just carelessly set something down. Well, why would we set a dirty dish on the counter when we can literally put it in the dishwasher that is right there? Don't put it down, put it away. Put it where you've already decided the thing goes, if that's pens or keys or whatever.
That's great. All right. So another one that I hear a lot, and I think I've heard you say, is that a lot of people assume that we can just declutter once and be done, right? I do love this idea of just decide once, and this is what it is, and that's the expectation for sure. But I think decluttering once and you're done doesn't really work. So I would love to know your thoughts on that, and how can we create some organizing systems that help us get over this idea, because I think we grow a lot as people in life, and things change, and the things you want and the things you need are going to change. I mean, becoming a parent made that more apparent in my life.
For sure, right. If you think back to my term pipeline before, if you think about it, the pipeline of stuff coming into the house never stops. We're always ordering something new. The kids bring home a t-shirt from their fun run. There's always something coming in. So in my opinion, stuff always needs to be going out. Whether that's recycling, trash, the obvious, but also to me, it's stuff that goes to the thrift store. So I always keep a bag or a box in my pantry that's just donations. And once that gets full, or maybe 2 bags full, I'll throw it in the back of my car to take it. But yeah, I think that like a huge excavation can be sort of a one-time thing. Yeah, I do. I think an excavation is a one-time thing. Like you hire your organizers, or you have your body doubler, or you and your spouse do a big thing where you've got heavy equipment, we'll call it, and we're digging a huge hole. But then once you're there, once you've gotten rid of a bunch of stuff, it's the maintenance. The maintenance is like just a shovel. We just need a tiny little shovel, and it's just, we're not really going to have to go through that massive declutter again, probably, depending. Everybody's in a different place in their journey. At this point in my life, I feel like I could do a massive declutter if I were to move. There's so much in my house now that I'm not going to get rid of it. I have a bunch of books, and they're beautiful, and they are all meaningful. But I probably am not going to reference a lot of those books again. And I could get rid of them. But I don't want to do that now, because then I'm just going to do something else with the wall or whatever. If we were to ever downsize significantly, yeah, I'll probably do another excavation. And what I'm seeing right now, which I think is really tremendous, we're actually working with a number of like women in their 60s and 70s, particularly in their 70s, who are like, hey, I've really never decluttered. I've lived in this house for 40, 50 years, and I don't want to do to my kids what I see other people doing to their kids after I'm gone. I don't want them to have to go through grief and the funeral and all this stuff, and then on top of it, declutter and not declutter, but just really excavate big time. So I think that is a trend that I hope continues. It's like the Swedish death cleaning, but I don't love the term, but
Well, that's just because we're not Swedish. No, I love that idea. And I love the term you used there, excavate. It makes so much more sense when you look at it like that, where it's, oh, okay, an excavation is one thing, right? We're digging out, we're going through, and we're getting rid of this layer of stuff that we don't need. And if you've never done it, it is that. It is a big excavation. And then the idea of the shovels, where you're just like, you know what? No, we're just doing some maintenance. We're just weeding the garden, right? We're just pruning things back and helping ourselves be able to grow, knowing we don't need all this stuff, getting rid of the stuff that's not necessary. And yes, as your children grow, my gosh, the amount of clothes and shoes they go through in a year, just because they grow and they don't fit the old stuff anymore, is it's just obscene to me. I'm just like, what in the world? Like, I just bought you these 2 months ago and they don't fit now? What the heck?
I know. That was eighth grade for my son. I'm like, I'm losing money right now. Or like when they're infants and they grow so quickly. That's how eighth grade was. Moms of boys in eighth grade, maybe buckle up. I don't know. And get rid of the stuff. Get rid as they grow out of it.
Yeah, and then know that you don't have to buy all of it. Don't buy a whole year's worth of clothes at back to school shopping. Let's go for minimums, right? Couple pairs of pants, a few shirts, let them grow, get them again. Oh man, yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, so good. All right. So if people listening to this are completely overwhelmed by their clutter, they don't know where to start, what is the first step you would recommend they take?
Something I like to ask people is, well, what's making you rage in your home? Is it the pantry because you can never find food and you find that things go bad? Maybe it's your closet. You can't walk in your walk-in closet because there's stuff all over the floor. What's really just making you mad? Because that anger or that irritation can be the energy you need to like focus on that space. So that's kind of a nice way to push back on the thing that is stressing you out. And that's where the body doubling would also come in. If it's the closet, we've got some energy about this. Mom, can you come over and sit with me? I don't usually recommend people have their mom, but because that's perfectly good. Do her, do your bestie. Or if someone is just really frazzled, maybe they're a new mother, maybe they're just wrapped around the axle for whatever reason, just maybe do a junk drawer. I use junk drawers all the time as a means of creativity and play and control because they're small, they're contained. Just get some clear acrylic is my favorite. Drawer organizers. I really love the home edit ones at Walmart. And I'm going to be honest, I don't usually find a lot of drawer organizers that I like at Amazon, but the Walmart ones are so great. Just make sure it's home edit and put some drawer liner in there, make a configuration with your organizers and label the inside, label pens, label Post-its, whatever. Again, so that not only are you reminded what you decided, but your family is too, and everybody can be compliant and say it. And even if they're not, if you get chaos, you could say, hey, 14-year-old boy, can you please reset the junk drawer? So like a small manageable space, you can do that. You totally can. And then you've got something to be proud of after 30 minutes or an hour or whatever.
Yeah. It's also easier because you've already decided once, right? That's the decide once. When you label it, this is where this lives, this is my decision that I'm making. And then it doesn't take it takes nanoseconds extra time, right? As you're putting something in that drawer, oh, I've got pens. Okay, I've got pencils. Okay, great. And you're putting it away and you almost don't even notice you're doing it. So great tip. Fantastic. Tara, where can people find you? I know they're going to want to look you up and find out more.
My Instagram is pretty fun. It's at house.peace. I hope you'll follow me there. I also have a newsletter that you can access or sign up for on my website, which is housepeace.net. And I also have a personal Instagram page, Tara B. Bremer. We have a blog. There's all kinds of stuff. But if you were to sign up for the newsletter, all that stuff is assimilated into a twice monthly note.
Perfect. All right, people, we'll put the links in the show notes so you can find it there if you want. And also links to all of the things we talked about. You talked about a lot of different products and people, so we'll make sure we link to all of that there as well. All right, my favorite way to close out every episode is with 3 rapid fire questions. We'll keep them quick. Number 1, what does clutter-free mean to you?
It means, did you ever hear that quote? I don't own anything that I don't believe to be useful or beautiful. It's something like that. To me, that's what clutter-free is. Everything I own is useful and or beautiful.
I love it. Okay, great. Number 2, what is making you happy right now or in this season of life?
Well, gosh, it's spring in Alabama and it's so beautiful out, and that is making me very happy. But in the season of life, my kids are teenagers and I freaking love it. And I just feel like this is the payoff for the hard little years. It's so great.
Oh, it's so good. That's so nice. You don't often hear people talk about teens in a positive light, so I love that.
I know. I love it. It's my favorite.
And what is a goal you have for yourself this year?
This year, one of my biggest goals is I'm working on a TV show pitch, and I'm going to start working with a coach that's going to help me refine my pitch. And yeah, I want a TV show, so I'm taking actionable steps to do that.
That is a nice big goal and the first time I've ever heard that. So I wish you the best. Good luck on your endeavors.
Thank you, Deanna.
Well, I absolutely loved that conversation with Tara. I loved how she blends psychology, counseling, and organizing to help us build resilience, reduce stress, create systems that actually work for our unique personalities. And you can tell they were not cookie cutter ideas, right? They were things that have to work for you and your family and the different people and personalities that are all living under one roof. So it's not always an easy process, but it's one that is definitely worth it. But now I want to hear from you. What stood out for you the most from today's episode? Was there a tip or mindset shift that really resonated with you? If so, come on over and share your thoughts with me over on Instagram. I am at Wannabe Clutter Free, where you can send me a DM or comment on the post for this episode or post a picture, tag me in your stories. I would love to hear from you and hear what resonated. Or if you want to dive deeper, you can come join the conversation in our private Facebook group, the Wannabe Minimalist Family Group, and I'd love to hear your perspective. Of course, if you love this episode, please consider subscribing so that you never miss another one. And if you're feeling extra generous, leaving a quick rating or a review really helps people find the show and help our amazing community. A huge thank you to Tara for sharing her insights with us today. And if you want to learn more about her work, we'll make sure that you check out the show notes at wannabeclutterfree.com/254. And finally, thank you to you for spending some time with me today. I hope you are able to take even just one small step toward reducing clutter and stress in your home this week, because even the smallest change is going to have a big impact. I believe in you, and I know you can do this. Until next time, take care, keep things simple, and I'll see you back here next week. I'm Deanna Yates, and you've been listening to Wannabe Clutter Free. Cheers.